Muy buenas tardes, bienvenidos a este nuevo espacio de formación y capacitación para nuestros maestros y maestras de inglés. Hoy tenemos un tema muy importante a través de esta estrategia de Masterclass que hace parte de Contacto Maestro, una estrategia de formación y capacitación del Ministerio de Educación Nacional, donde periódicamente estamos compartiendo con los maestros y maestras del país diferentes capacitaciones virtuales. Ustedes pueden consultar el cronograma de todas las conferencias en línea, masterclasses y otros eventos virtuales a través de contactomaestro.colombiaaprende.edu.co. El día de hoy tenemos una masterclass muy especial con unos invitados muy especiales, por supuesto. Para nosotros estas masterclasses son unos eventos bien importantes para el sistema educativo, ya que contamos con expertos de reconocimiento nacional en la enseñanza del inglés y también la participación de nuestros docentes del sistema educativo oficial. Este espacio nos permite integrar todo el conocimiento y la experticia en el sector educativo de la enseñanza de inglés, tanto de nuestros maestros como de los expertos, poder analizar, pensar, debatir acerca de estrategias y técnicas de enseñanza y aprendizaje que le pueden ser útiles a nuestros maestros el día de hoy en el momento que estamos viviendo histórico para el sistema educativo. Tengo el placer hoy de contar con Carolina Rodríguez Buitrago, María Zulima Maldonado Sánchez y Juan Carlos Medina Castro, nuestros anfitriones del día de hoy, junto con John Pulido, quien es nuestro moderador estrella y quienes van a estar liderando el encuentro de hoy. Las masterclasses hacen parte de una estrategia del Programa Nacional de Bilingüismo que corresponde a un esquema de desarrollo profesional continuo que busca impactar a más de 2.500 maestros a nivel nacional. Lo hacemos a través de diferentes estrategias como las masterclasses, sistemas de acompañamiento y soporte pedagógico en las prácticas pedagógicas de los maestros, clubes de innovación, capacitaciones en metodología de la enseñanza del inglés con objetivos específicos para el turismo y la cuarta revolución industrial y cursos de inglés para directivos, docentes y maestros tanto de inglés como de otras áreas para fomentar que la comunicación en inglés sea ese vehículo que es nuestra ambición desde el Programa Nacional del Bilingüismo. El día de hoy la masterclass va a estar desarrollada en inglés. Hay masterclasses que estarán desarrolladas también en español. Los invitamos a consultar nuevamente contactomaestro.colombiaaprende.edu.co, donde está publicado el cronograma de estas masterclasses y de otros eventos del Ministerio de Educación Nacional. Y por supuesto también queremos invitarlos a que visiten eco.colombiaaprende.edu.co, donde tenemos más de 3.000 recursos educativos para la enseñanza del inglés, recursos que son de fácil acceso y descarga para los maestros de todo el país sin ningún costo, gracias a nuestra gran alianza con el British Council, la Embajada de los Estados Unidos y Peace Corps y pronto nuevos aliados que van a ir integrando sus contenidos en nuestra plataforma. So without further ado, I'm going to switch into English. I would like to welcome Carolina. Carolina, thank you very much for being with us today. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much, Carlos, for the invitation and for that very warm welcome.
Okay, thank you. The audience is yours, and thank you very much to all the teachers. Enjoy this conference.
Okay, thank you. Well, I decided to flip my class because I love to talk. I can talk a lot. And I was realizing that I was taking the stage from my students. They are the ones who need to be doing all the activity, interacting, creating, being the ones practicing the language. And I realized that with my love for speaking, my Paisa family, I was robbing them of this opportunity. So I started looking and intellectually reading and trying to find. I realized that I was flipping my class. And that was wonderful because it changed everything. It was a definite game changer in my job as a teacher. Do you want to learn some strategies to see how this interaction and activity can be part of your classroom? Stay with me in this masterclass. Okay, John, so I would like to invite you here for a moment.
Hello, I'm back. I'm here. Hey, Carol.
There you go.
Oh, it's a
Hey,
very inspiring pitch you just gave. I'm in. I want to be part of it.
Stay with me then.
I'm already part of it. Welcome. It's very nice to have you here.
You.
Well, let me introduce myself again. I'm John Pulido. I'm going to be the moderator for this 6th masterclass, Carolina. This is our number 6.
Wow. Nice.
So welcome, everybody. As Carlos said, this masterclass is a strategy brought to you and all the teachers by the agreement between the British Council and the Ministry of Education. Also, part of the Inspiring Teachers 2.0 Professional Development Program and the Contacto Maestro program too. So we invite you to check Contacto Maestro program at contactomaestro.colombiaaprende.edu.co. So before anything, we want to thank you, all the teachers. Before we started, they already saying hello on the chat, and everybody was like, hello, I'm here, I'm expecting, I'm waiting for this to start, I want to learn. So everybody, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. It's been 6 sessions so far, and our community is growing, Carolina. In the last couple of weeks, we have more teachers connecting, more teachers viewing or reviewing the sessions after the session is finished. So I want to invite everybody out there. Let us know where you are from, which cities, which towns are you from, or are you at? Please let us know. Say hello to us on the chat. Something I love about this professional development strategy is this: that we can, despite the distance, have a conversation. Okay, and to have a conversation either online or either remotely, we want to invite our teachers, our guest teachers. Let's start with María Zulima Maldonado from Norte de Santander, Villa del Rosario. María Zulima, good afternoon.
Hi, hello, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you in this space. I'm from Ocaña, and I'm 25 years teacher. In this moment, I teach with 7, 8, and 9th grade. My school is in Villa del Rosario. It's an historical place. I have also expected with this practice. Thank you very much for your invitation.
Maria, the pleasure is ours. So we're very honored to have you here. And we also have, as everybody knows, so if any of the teachers out there is new in these master classes, we always invite teachers because we want to have their voices of the teachers here. And Juan Carlos Medina is here from Zipaquirá, Cundinamarca. Juan Carlos, good afternoon. Say hello to everybody, please.
Good afternoon, John. Good afternoon, Carolina. Well, my name is Juan Carlos Medina. I am from Boyacá, actually. I work in Zipaquirá, Cundinamarca. I've got a master's degree in applied linguistics from the Pontificia Universidad Javeriana. And I am an English teacher for 8th graders. And I'm really thankful for this invitation. I hope all our colleagues that are connected right now learn something from this.
Definitely. It's going to be like that, definitely. And well, we have our expert today, our specialist, a teacher, a professor, a person I admire and I've known for a lot of years, Carolina R. Buitrago. That's her star name.
Yes.
Full-time professor at Unica, EFL teacher for over 20 years. She has been working a lot, because I follow you on Twitter too, on Flip Learning. Okay. By the Flip Learning Global Initiative, right? You have been recognized by this FLGI, and you have contributed to the revision of the international standards for Flip Learning, also member of the board of Flip Learning Network, and you support teachers from the public sector in their processes in different programs in the country. That, among other things. Carolina, it's a pleasure to have you here with us, and I'm John Pulido, and I mean, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, John. I also admire you very much. And this last point that you have in my bio, I think is one of the most important. I've been supporting teachers who are doing their master's thesis in different universities in the country. And this has given me definitely a perspective of the public sector that probably sometimes it is ignored by people in big cities or by people in universities. It's really easy for most of us because we have resources, but it's really difficult to place ourselves in the shoes of teachers having to deal with the difficulties, with the limitations of the rurality, for example, etc. So this last point is one that I hold dear to my heart because it has allowed me to share and to see and to meet amazing teachers. And I have a little surprise from one of them in just 1 minute.
Oh, yeah. So before moving to our first section, please, everybody out there, teachers, remember that you can only get the certificate by completing the registration form. During the session end, you will find a QR code. Anytime you find the QR code, scan it. Or you can access the chat link. The link is going to be there for you to register, and then you can download the information. Carolina, I guess we're ready to start with our first section. It's the surprise you mentioned, testimonial.
It is, yes.
Let's go.
What is ECHO Teens? Well, ECHO stands for English for Colombia, and it is an educational radio program designed to promote English language learning while exploring different fields like technology, arts, tourism, and sports. The program is designed for teens and presented by teens, Rosita, Aleja, Ana, and Lucho, together with Julian, their English teacher. In the program, they share their life projects and help other young people see the benefits of speaking English. Access other ECHO Teen resources at echo.colombiaaprende.edu.co or just click on the link in the description box below.
So here's the surprise. I decided to start with a story from a teacher who I hold very dear to my heart and who happens to be in the audience today. Her name is Luz Mora, and she is a teacher at Institución Educativa El Vino in La Vega, Cundinamarca. Luz Mila, I met her in the specialist program in bilingual education, and I'm really happy to say that she's a specialist right now, and I admire deeply her work. Why don't we listen to her to see what her context is like?
My name is Luz Mila. I am an English teacher at El Vino School in La Vega, Cundinamarca. The strategies we have used in this pandemic time are WhatsApp, Meet, Zoom, and Classroom. This time has been very difficult and a time of challenges because some students don't have access to internet. Other students don't have a mobile phone because they have to check it with 3 or more siblings. Other students express that they don't like this virtual modality, but in this moment we are very happy because we have our students in our school face-to-face so that we can help them to continue with their academic process and improve their skills in different areas. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Luz Mila, and thank you to all the teachers who do what she does and who have all these creative strategies to deal with what happens every day. So let's recap what Luz Mila said. She talked about some interaction tools, basically, some strategies that she uses in order to build interaction with her students. She mentioned different platforms like WhatsApp, Meet, and Google Classroom. She also mentioned teacher and student interaction that she has in her classes. And also now she mentions that she has face-to-face oriented activities. Okay, but let's talk with the teachers that are here with us. So Juan Carlos, why don't you come and join us so that I can ask you a question?
For sure, here I am.
Hello. So Juan Carlos, how similar is your context to that of Luz Mila's?
Well, as I said before, I work in Zipaquirá, Cundinamarca, in la Institución Educativa Municipal Cundinamarca. It's an urban setting school, and then, but I think we have also some problems with or some difficulties with the connectivity from a student. So we are kind of similar about the contents of the teacher that said before.
Okay, thank you, Juan Carlos. And I'm gonna go with teacher Maria Zulima, the second question. Which of the strategies that she uses have you used?
I like the second one, the vertical thinking routines, because the students can describe their activities during this time period and some change that they and their families had during all time, and they can explain or try to speak in English some real situations.
Okay. So, well, Juan Carlos, Zulima, and Luz Mila tell us about all this amazing creativity that we can have in order to promote interaction among our students. But teachers, I have a question. Are you interested in learning other strategies to promote interaction among your students?
Of course, I think we as teachers, we have we have to be in continuous research of new strategies, how to improve our English level students, and how to encourage to participate and to learn a foreign language.
Okay. And what about you, Zulima?
Okay, of course. Our profession our profession has continued change and continue to adapt and to pivot our activities. We must create several things according to each student's aspect and necessities and interests. Because with this situation, there are a lot of students that they lost interest to recite class and don't interest to chat all time. But it's so difficult to catch all time the attention the students in the of 10 or get the students participate and show to the other students their goals.
Yes, we were easier students. No, we were easier. We were, we were more entertained easily. What about John? What do you think? Are you interested in learning other strategies to promote interaction? Where is John?
Carolina and our guest teachers and all the teachers who are joining us today, I guess that if something must define as an educator is lifelong learning.
Absolutely.
I mean, we never stop, and you said it. We should never stop learning. Okay, getting prepared, studying, being curious. There's something else we can find out there: strategies, techniques, new models, new technology. I mean, it's endless. So that's why I really consider that I'm ready to learn. And I know that, Carolina, you bring a toolbox today, a teaching tool.
I did.
Right?
I did.
And I know those tools that you bring are going to reach our abilities as language teachers. So why don't we open that toolbox?
Well, let's roll up our sleeves and go.
Let's do it. Bring it on.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about interaction and active learning teaching strategies. This can be complemented with so many things, but we are going to focus on 3 things today. I cheated a little bit and I made one that is huge, a technique, but we're going to get there, flipping your class. Then the second one is going to be using visible thinking routines. And the third one is going to be using cooperative learning strategies, okay? So let's get started with our first one. However, I want to give you some context. Remember that everything in this masterclass comes within the frame of flipped learning. I have been doing this for 7 years, I think, and I'm going to make a long story short for you to get kind of the initial sense of what flipped learning is. So we think about two spaces in the class, right? The individual learning space, which is where students are at home or alone in the library or in the park or wherever. Then this is where they engage with the material, right? The textbook, the pages, well, we'll see more things later. And in this individual learning space, we do low order thinking skills of Bloom. So remember that we're talking about flipping. That means this is what we used to do in the class. We used to explain a concept and then have students practice at home. Here, what we're going to be doing is offering the concept first to the student at home so that they can engage with the material and apply low order thinking skills of Bloom, meaning remembering and understanding. Also, what we do is we transform our group learning space, right? The classroom. This transforms into engaging with each other and the teacher. So this is not anymore the teacher in the front explaining, because the explanation happens before class some other way. This is engaging with each other and with the teacher in the classroom. And then we apply high order thinking skills in the Bloom's taxonomy. So we are going to see that, okay? If you Google Bloom's taxonomy, you're going to find 1,000 drawings that are probably clearer and bigger than this one. So if you want to take a look at that later, you might. However, this one is easy because it's flipped already, right? So we are going to start with the two, understanding and remembering. These two low order thinking skills are going to happen in the individual learning space, meaning at home, right? And in the group learning space, we're going to focus on applying, creating, evaluating, and analyzing, right? This is kind of the basics of flipping. We flip Bloom's taxonomy. You may have heard that when you flip your class, it's just about sending videos home. Not necessarily, not only videos. You may have heard that if you don't have technology, you cannot flip your class. Wrong, okay? Today, we're going to demystify all those things. So we're going to start with technique number 1, which is flip learning, right? Flipping your class. So for this, I'm going to call John because I want to ask the audience, have you learned anything from a video recently? Yes or no? And I want to invite Juan Carlos and Zulima so that we can ask them.
Hi, Carolina, again.
Hello, Juan Carlos. So have you learned anything from a video recently?
Actually, yes, and it was yesterday. I saw a video how to make a recipe, and it was delicious, and it was pretty cool, actually.
Okay, what recipe? I'm curious. I love to cook.
It was an spaghetti carbonara. It was nice. It's really nice and easy to make, actually.
I don't know how to make that one. You gotta send me that video. So, John, can you invite our massive audience to get involved in the conversation?
Please. Oh, yeah, Carolina. To keep the conversation going, I'm going to let you know that everybody, first of all, is saying hello. Everybody's excited. We have a lot of teachers saying hello for when they are different cities in Colombia. And we invite them. We invite you, teachers out there, to participate. Now, Carolina is going to be asking some questions, okay? So we want you to answer those questions and participate. We're giving voice here to the teachers, to the guest teachers here, but we want you also get involved in this conversation, okay? So far, let me see if I have a, oh my God. Oh, my app just closed. Okay. I have here Wilfredo Espejo, learning new strategies. Okay, there's are some of the comments. And teachers are looking for learning through videos, more strategies to promote interaction and practice. Okay, almost everyone is saying that, like learning different things, they are connecting it to teaching, which is good.
Teachers are so
but it can also
juiciosos.
be it could be also any other things. Okay, you just mentioned spaghetti carbonara. I was learning how to configure my webcam from the computer because I was having some problems. So I went on YouTube, just and logged in and just checked everything, and I learned how to configure it. So I learned that. Let's see what other teachers are saying there.
Yeah, I am also, I want to tell you mine because I'm learning to do amigurumis in crochet, and you do that on video, you know, just like you have to stop the video a lot of times because it's like you have to make these points and then stop because you go too fast. So I stop the video and try to knit it again. What about you, Sulima? Have you learned anything from a video recently?
Yes, just this morning. I checked the student with the egg pizza because we are studying the healthy habits, and I recommended that practice and make in home in the house the egg pizza.
Ooh, okay.
It's a very nice
Egg pizza. Okay.
Carolina, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Come on. We've known each other.
Look, Yvonne Esther Lobo Fontalvo. She said, I spent a little more, I learned a little bit more about the love chemistry, the chemistry of love, in a National Geographic YouTube channel. So that's a great thing. Wow. Wilson Ospino, I found a video in which I learned about inclusive education. Ooh, it was really interesting because videos give you a huge point of view. Alexi Cáceres, yoga postures. And she's on the same page, like pause and do it, pause and do it, pause and do it. So we have different things teachers are learning. So that's great.
Okay, so Juan Carlos, let me ask you a question about your carbonara spaghetti. Were you just watching the video, one run, or did you stop the video as you went?
Actually, it was in one run. It was so easy to make. So it was, I just needed just saw it once.
Okay, and what about you, Sulima? When you were learning about the egg pizza, did you stop the video or just went in one run?
No, that's one.
One run. Oh my God, you guys you're fast learners because me with the amigurumis, I have to stop that video 1,000 times because I just get lost. I have the attention of Dory. I get distracted like a mosquito. So that can happen to our students. That is why we have to teach them how to watch educational videos, right? So this is what we're going to continue working on. Sometimes we can show our students videos that we make. As you can see, this is a little tiny version of me over here in the corner of this screen, right? I'm teaching my students habitual actions with the simple present or continuous and will. But you can also find videos from YouTube. As you said, you found the carbonara pizza or the egg pizza or the how to install a webcam video, super easy. So now we find videos about everything and anything on YouTube. But that doesn't mean that our students know how to watch those videos, right? Students, we cannot assume this competence because it's not something that is natural to us, right? One thing is to watch an entertaining video, like when you're watching a movie, you're not taking notes, you're not doing anything, you're just having fun, getting entertained. But with an educational video, we need to teach them how to watch. There is a teacher that I love and I admire very much. Her name is Crystal Kirch. She is a math teacher in the States, and she wrote this book, Flipping with Kirch. In her book, Crystal, she talks about many procedures, processes, and how to do the flipping right. But she talks about one very specific procedure, that is how to teach our students how to watch educational videos. So she suggests that they need to be fit and check your tech. Yeah, I want you to keep these two acronyms in mind. Be fit and check your tech. I'm leaving you here her hashtag on Twitter. You can follow her on Twitter. She shares lots of resources, websites. She's amazing. So let's take a look at what this means. What is to be fit? Students need to have a focused, serious attitude. Yeah, when you're watching something to learn it, let's think about the teacher who was watching yoga postures. You have a focused, serious attitude. You're not doing 1,000 things at the same time, right? You be involved in the process. So you are doing the steps, as me with the amigurumis. I'm doing the crochet as I watch the video. And you take away distractions. If I have my wool, my needle, my video, I cannot have any other thing around because otherwise my brain is not going to focus, right? So I have to teach my students to be fit, okay? To have a focused, serious attitude, to be involved in the process, and to take away distractions. But remember, there was a second part in that acronym, tech. You need to check your tech. What does that mean? Tabs closed, yeah? Students have 1,000 windows open. I do that too. And it's like that meme, you know, like you have 1,000 tabs open and you don't know where the music is coming from. That is also affecting your brain and your attention. So you need to teach your students to have their tabs closed. Electronic devices put away. Some students might have phones or other devices that are distracting them, maybe a video game, maybe sometimes not only electronic, right? Cell phones off or on airplane mode. So sometimes students are too dependent on their phones and they cannot see a notification because immediately they feel they want to check it. So they need to have their cell phones off or on airplane mode if they're going to watch an educational video. And headphones in. We listen better, we can focus better with the noise canceling of our headphones, right? Remember that this is something we are teaching our students in order to watch educational videos. So this is in the case you have the technology, you have the possibility to send a video for your students to watch. So now I have another question for the teachers, because one thing is to capture, you know, any video from YouTube, and another different thing is to make your own videos. So Juan Carlos, I would like to call you on the stage in order to ask you about your video making experience. And also Sulima, if you can come into the stage, we can talk about this. Okay, in the meantime, while they come, don't forget the hashtag I made a video of, and also participate, you, the massive audience. We want to hear you. We want to know what you are doing, teachers. Did you make recently a video of something? So Juan Carlos, now that I have you here, have you ever made a video of yourself explaining a topic?
Yeah, actually, I did it once. It was a class that some students of myself didn't come to class, so I had to tape a little explanation of the topic and put it on the WhatsApp. So I did it once, and it was a nice experience actually.
Okay, I like that. I like the way you explain the reason why you did that video. Good. Okay, Sulima, what about you? Have you ever made a video of yourself explaining a topic?
No, not yet. No.
Not yet. Oh, I love that answer. Not yet. See the growth mindset right there? Not yet. Awesome. Okay. So I have a question for Juan Carlos, because is the video maker. On a scale from 1 to 10, how scared are you of showing your face on video? 1 being terrified, 10 being Hollywood comfortable.
Well, I have a folklorical formation. I'm a dancer. So basically, I kind of cool with facing public. So probably I'm gonna be a 9, actually.
Okay.
I feel comfortable in front of the camera or in front of public. So
yeah, you look like a 10 to me right now. You look like a 10. Okay, what about you, Sulima? How do you feel? 1 being terrified, 10 being Hollywood comfortable.
No, at the moment I'm terrified.
Terrified.
Terrified to show my face with the students, because there are many the students can use my image to other things, to write something, words that not very well for me. So that being terrified.
Okay, to make stickers. Students have made stickers for me. Thank you for all the sticker makers out there that feel I am worthy of a sticker. Okay, did you know that that is exactly what students feel too? Like that, this is a little parenthesis, pandemic fear. A lot of teachers were really sad because they were not seeing students on camera. And this is one of the reasons why they didn't do it. They felt terrified to have their face all the time exposed. It's like having a mirror in front of you all the time, and some students don't like to see themselves on the mirror. So sometimes we were kind of like, students don't turn on the camera, but that has a reason. And my dear teachers, allow me to tell you, there is research that says that students love to see our faces on the screen, even if we look like Mrs. Potato Head, like, right here. So it doesn't matter because they feel the closeness. They feel the humanness, of their teacher looking at them through the video. So, yes, you must be terrified today. But as Sulima said, not yet. I haven't taken the plunge just yet, but you can get there every once in a while, just to make sure, in the case that you still have to send your students on material. So Juan Carlos, I just want to follow up on you with the students that were absent. Did they watch the video that you sent them?
Yes, of course.
And did they understand the topic?
Yeah, most of them. Yeah, most of them are kind of difficult because sometimes they're not used to receive a class from a video. So probably for most of them are kind of difficult.
Okay. And did you do any activities later after in class to, strengthen the content that you taught through the video?
After the video, no. They have to solve the workshop, writing workshop, after they saw the video, actually.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, because that's a real example of a flipped class, right? When we send something to do to our students and they work, we have done the first part of it, right? The individual learning space part. Then we have to do the group learning space part, right? So that is, kind of like an example of what's going on in the flipped class. So hi, John, how are you?
Doing great. I'm just having fun reading teachers' comments here.
Great.
And I don't know if this name rings a bell. Oh my God, I lost it. Luz Mila.
Luz Mila, there she is.
Yeah, there she is. She's definitely, Luz Mora is actively participating here. And she says that she has made videos to explain different topics to her students.
Awesome.
And she also says that she is terrified, definitely terrified. And we have other teachers participating. Basically, yes, explanatory videos for students. Most of them feel terrified. There are a few teachers who feel Hollywood. What is it? The word?
Hollywood comfortable.
Hollywood comfortable. Yes, definitely. Some teachers use other strategies, an avatar or a picture or something.
There you go.
Not to be exposed. And I really, really love that the teachers also are participating on the hashtag. I made a video of, so we remind you that we were also using this hashtag before. So definitely, I guess what the teachers are basically saying is that the video part has become very useful tool during this pandemic. So definitely these are some of the comments I have, Carolina.
Great. Thank you so much. And that's awesome, because we are hearing, we're seeing that video is so pervasive. Like now there are TikTok videos, that are teachers that are famous because they're TikTokers. So yeah, they're seeing video everywhere. So video is a great tool. But what do we do when we don't have video or availability of technology? That can happen too, right? So we can also make flipped instructional materials with limited technology. Yeah, let's remember something, and this is key. I want everyone, you two teachers here, Juan Carlos and Sulima, but also all the teachers that are watching us, I want you to go with the belief and the thought that flipped learning is not only about the videos, okay? Let's remember that flipped learning is about flipping Bloom's taxonomy, right? Giving students the opportunity to apply, to create, to evaluate, to analyze. That means to write, to speak, to make mistakes with grammar, to experiment with vocabulary, to do role plays, all those things that we never have time for. That is what we want. That is why we want to flip our class, right? And another important thought, flip learning is not about the technology. It is about the activity of learners. It is about enabling active learning to happen. And so what is active learning? Active learning is not only jumping up and down, right? It's not that. It is not entertaining students. That is a huge misunderstanding. Active learning is about having students engaged, yes, physically, hands-on, but also engaged in their minds, right? So I'll bring you back again, yes. I would like to ask the audience, you teachers out there watching, which of the following materials do you design or assign for your students? We have handouts, we have book pages, we have reading from readers, we have readings from authentic sources, and we have all of the above. So Sulima, let's start with you. What do you design or assign for your students?
I designed a handbook and recommend some readers from authentic source.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes,
Okay.
especially with the naive students.
Okay, great. So yeah, we have many things that we can use from authentic sources now with the internet, right? So what about you, Juan Carlos?
Well, in my experience, I have worked some of them. I think the most common ones are handouts. It's the easiest way, I think, to assess what the students are learning. But I try to use different strategies, not try to avoid the students get bored with just one strategy. So I try to try the different things.
Yeah, I like that. And even though if you make a handout, you can, as you say, insert some variety into your handout, so that students don't feel they're doing kind of the same thing. Okay, great. So John, can you help us ask the audience, the answer to this question? You can help us with A, B, C, D, or E really quickly there on the comments. Yeah, that's going to help us there kind of measure temperature of which one is our favorite non-technological material, because we can have technological materials, but these are, everyday materials that we can have at our disposal. So John, are you around?
Can you hear me? Yes, I'm around.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. We have Catherine Pedraza, mostly handouts. Olga Lucia Kitian, handouts, reading from authentic resources. We have Vilma Soraya, she writes E. We
all
have
of the above.
Mostly handouts. We have a lot of handouts. We have some teachers answering A and D, not only one option.
Okay.
A and D. We have a lot of people answering A and D. Isabel Gutierrez, E. Dexy Barros, A. Andrea Medellin, A and B. Not everybody's taking one option. They're taking both A, D, or A and B.
Great. That seems great to me. So I have some that I think I can suggest, to work, that I have worked with and have worked with my students pretty well. Definitely handouts, yes. Book pages. Let's think, for example, there is a book I love, which is not Midnight. This is for little kids. Bedtime Stories for Rebel Girls. Have you seen that book? The one about Niñas Rebeldes, my daughter loves it. And, you can make a whole unit out of one page, like the life of Frida Kahlo or the life of Malala Yousafzai. They love to talk about this. Book pages can be great, or textbook pages. Think about your English, please. Think about, any resource that you have at your hands. You can use those book pages. Teaching texts. Do you know what a teaching text is? It might be an invented name. I'm sorry. So teaching text.
What is it? Tell us.
It is when it's kind of a didactic unit, when you create, it's like if you were going to make a video, but you narrate it on the text. So you talk to the student about the topic, you add pictures, you add a crossword, but it's like you're talking to the student, but they're reading, right? They need to practice reading. Tutorials. This is the same as a teaching text, but with screenshots and arrows for like how to use something online, for example. Short stories, comic books. readers. You have all this in the library at your school probably, or in the near public library, you may have some of these options. Students' families. Oh, students' families are an amazing source of information. Go and ask your grandparents about blah, and then bring it to class and let's process it in English and let's make it happen, right? So students' families are amazing sources of information. And radio shows, your audio on WhatsApp. Now I know teachers are experts on WhatsApp lessons, and so you can make an entire listening exercise with the WhatsApp, right? And the radio shows, you have the Echo Teens, the Echo radio show that you can build into your lessons. And also TV shows. You can use a piece of a TV show that you record, and you maybe can cut out some scenes and then you explain, or you open bubbles, and you make the characters talk. I mean, this also, it's kind of like the teacher's creativity and the amount of time we have to plan our materials, right? We have to think about that. So the idea with the individual learning space is that it engages the students with new content, while they are in the individual learning space. Normally, we explain the topics in the classroom, in front of the students. In a flipped class, you will explain the topic outside. You won't send homework. The homework is not going to exist anymore. It's not homework, it's class preparation. And that's something cool, because the students hate homework and they try to escape homework, because homework regularly is just practice, right? So we need to have students be active in the individual learning space. We don't just send a video for them to consume, or we just don't send a reading for them to consume, but we help them, we build that individual learning experience, right? How? We teach them how to take notes, because as you might be surprised, the students don't know how to take notes. And I can tell you, because I'm a university professor, and sometimes my students arrive there and they copy everything, right? They don't know strategies to really capture their thinking, to synthesize information, to analyze information. They kind of copy everything, right? Solve exercises. We have to have students engage with the content and solve exercises kind of to process, to think with the material. Recall information and retell it. So for example, you're teaching a vocabulary set, so you have students recall it in the individual learning space before they come to class, so that you can actually generate conversational activities, etc., when they are in the class with you. Label items in the house with Post-it notes, for example. This can be something they do in the individual learning space. So for instance, you're teaching parts of the house, or you're teaching vegetables, or you're teaching fruits, you're teaching members of the family. You can have your students running around with a Post-it little block in there, putting Post-its on all the vocabulary. That was what my house looked like when I was learning English. Write. We need to have students write, and teachers, please, this is a favor. Writing is not just an evaluation. Writing is an activity to think, to visualize thinking. If you go to the psychologist, the first thing they ask you to do is to write a letter to somebody, right? Because writing helps us pour things that we have in our head down on paper. And this is something that our students need to grow doing. They need to understand that writing is not just a product, that writing is a process, and that they will do it not so good the first times, and that it's not subject to evaluation. Sometimes we can just write, to make sure that we don't forget something. We write little notes, we write things. It doesn't mean that it has to be evaluated, right? So we have them think in writing so they don't hate writing as much. Okay, and thinking routines. In this individual learning space, we need to help students sit down with their material and have some empty mental space to think. We have realized, and I think you might connect with me on this, that since we have all these pervasive technologies, we don't have so much time to think. Pretty much the only time we have to think is when we're in the shower, because most phones are not waterproof. So we just go in the shower and become Einstein. We become geniuses. We have all these great ideas in the shower when we have nothing to write on. But it's precisely because of that moment of space with no distractions, and we can think. So we need to teach our students to think. When they engage with the material, if it's not technology oriented, they need to think as they do it, okay? Good. What is this for? This is so that in the group learning space, we can have authentic interaction. It's not the teacher explaining concepts, because the students already got that, right? We are going to interact with each other. We're going to talk. We're going to do some role play. We're going to do some exercises. We're going to play some games. Speaking activities. How much time do you have really for speaking activities? If you flip your class, you're going to have more time for that. In class flip, you can have your students work in stations. Each group of students can be doing something different, or they can be rotating in the different stations. They can learn about different topics at the same time. They can work in different configurations. We have a blog post for now for that. I can share with you in the materials that are coming after this. Peer instruction. This is a lovely strategy. We teachers, we become experts and we forget what it is to be on the students' shoes, right? We forget what it is to struggle with those articles. Why they versus a versus an. I don't remember what I felt when I was learning. But a peer, somebody who is on the same level of the student, they're going to remember. So this exercise, you can have them teach each other things. Of course, you guide them, but this is a great exercise for the group learning space. Cooperative learning strategies. We can have students cooperate. We can have students collaborate. And this is going to be possible because you flipped your class. Differentiated instruction. I bet you have many different learning styles, many different personalities, many different interests. Learner variability is a factor in our classrooms, and we rarely have time to really differentiate instruction. We don't have time for that. But if we flip our class, I mean, if we take out direct instruction from the classroom to home, we will have time to pay attention to those students who need us the most and to design differently for everybody. Don't worry, you don't have to design 50 different lesson plans. It's just a way to say, we can design for everyone. And gamification. Students love games. Now we know everything is gamified. We get points at Éxito. We get points at El Surtidor. We get points everywhere for buying a coffee or whatever. So we can also insert some gamification strategies into our classes. And project-based learning. I think this is one wonderful thing you can do. And if you flip your class, you have the time. Yeah, because you're not your hour, your 2 hours, your 3 hours a week. You're not focused on explaining things. You're focused on creating these group learning space activities that your students can do. Okay, so I'm going to move now to the second teaching technique. Yeah, this, of course, is part of what we were just talking about in the individual learning space, and it is about using visible thinking routines. But for this, I'm going to call Juan Carlos and Zulima because I have talked for too long. And I also want to ask you, teachers in the audience watching, how do you make sure you know what students are thinking? Yeah, like I know some of us have this dream of putting, like this helmet with electrodes to know what's going through their minds, because sometimes we don't know. How do you know, Juan Carlos? Do you ask them directly? Do you quiz them to verify? Do you use visible thinking routines?
Well, sometimes I use visible thinking routines. For instance, I have an author, Kino, who makes a lot of comic strips from different, how do you say, like society situations that he exposed. And when you use it in classroom, probably you can encourage the students to think critically about what the situation is around the comic strip. So basically, that's something I probably use sometimes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for that. What about you, Zulima? How do you do it?
Sometimes I use some visible thinking routines, and I quiz them to verify if they are understanding the topic, the example, the handouts, because the instructions sometimes also the students don't understand very well. And after that, didn't sometimes I call the student, hey, Rito Perez, please, can you tell me about the topic, about the example, and give me some example or show me how is your work. And the student, I teacher, this is my notebook.
Okay, great. Yeah. Making it visible, right? Making it visible. We have to make it visible. We have to make students visible. And sometimes we think, yeah, they understanding because they're not asking questions. Maybe not. Maybe they don't ask questions for other reasons, right? So don't go. Stay here. John, do we have anything from the teachers in the audience? Flipping and thinking. Hashtag flipping and thinking. How do you make sure you know what students are thinking?
We're ready here, Carolina. Remember, teachers, to use the hashtag flipping and thinking, flipping and thinking. And we already have some answers, Carolina.
Great.
We just started with a lot of teachers answering A, and then we started seeing some shifting here. We have then C's, and then we have a bunch of teachers answering A and C, some others A and B. And now that we have this trend of answering ABC, ABC, ABC,
Okay, now
and then
everything.
and
That's
all of the
awesome.
above.
All of
So,
the above.
yeah, definitely. Please, teachers, participate. Hashtag flipping and thinking. Besides these answers, we also want to know your questions. Okay,
Okay.
we're just halfway, right? Yes,
Yes.
we're
Yes.
halfway. And I know that we've talked about a lot of things, and you teachers have participated. We're interested in knowing your questions. We already have a couple of them, but we want more. Ask
Yeah.
us questions, please.
We want more. We want more. And I want you to stay here, Juan Carlos and Sulima, okay? Because I have some things for you. So remember that this comes from the flipped learning benefits, right? If I take direct instruction, I mean, I put myself on a video or on a handout or on a guide explaining that concept, I will open up all this space, to do these great things, including thinking routines, right? So now I have time to do this. I don't have to struggle explaining the passive voice for the 1,000th time. I will just, stay and use thinking routines with my students. So we're going to talk about different thinking routines within the frame of flipped learning. Remember that we're doing understanding and remembering at home. So let's think about vocabulary, for example. I'm going to send my students a list of words and I'm going to ask them to search for them in the dictionary. So when they come to class, they have that list of words ready, complete, or I'm going to teach them something on a video or on a handout. I'm going to prepare the list of vocabulary that I want my students to study, And then in class, we are going to apply, create, evaluate, and analyze, right? It is very important to have students do things, to have students think things, and to make that thinking visible. So I want to ask you too, how do you foster critical thinking in your students? These are just a couple of examples, differentiating facts from opinions or providing a grand solution for a problem. These are just two techniques we can use for critical thinking teaching. But how do you do it? Let's start with Sulima now. How do you foster critical thinking in your students?
Different facts from opinions. I ask the question, or I show the guide or share a video and say to the student, please watch the video, take notes, and identify, for example, passive voice, and then prepare your a job about an invention, something that you like to know how or who invented, and show through the video and explain it about the creator, some image of the change that the product has been, and try to say in English and send to the teacher. So WhatsApp or my email, and this is an interaction. And then I select the best videos and share it with the other partners uh, uh, to share the experience. And the other students had, I needed to investigate more, or I needed to show more pictures, something. And
Wow, it's a lot. It's a lot of really good stuff happening there. Student reflection, student autonomy, metacognition. We have also activity, active learning practice. It's not just listen to the teacher and see the presentation and do some exercises, but it's real practice. Looking at the invention, explaining how that happened. They have to really find the work excellent. That sounds great. That sounds like a lot of learning in only one activity. What about you, Juan Carlos? How do you do it?
Well, I agree with Sulima, and also I used some problem solvation in classroom. For instance, if they are learning to express something in past tense, I say, okay, this is a sentence with a mistake. So you are going to analyze what is the mistake and what is the best way to solve it. Like, okay, that's the way I think the students can show me how they learn. And also, I compare the answers with the classmates. So, for instance, do you, Pepito Perez, agree with what your classmates have said? And sometimes they have a discussion, and this is really amazing stuff.
It is amazing. Exactly. You're talking about high order thinking skills, right? They have to support their decision. I think this is this because of that. It's not just because, but it actually has some root to it. And this is definitely high order thinking. That is what we can achieve when we are, promoting the activity of learners by flipping our class. I'm like publicizing this as if I got money for it. Anyway, how much time do you have in class to do this?
Unfortunately, for me, in my context, there is not much time to do so. Why? Because most of my students, they don't have like a good connectivity. They buy some data to get some part of the class. So probably I have to make the class shorter in order to get everything that I need that the students learn in a shorter period. So, yeah.
Okay. And what about you, Sulima? What is the case for you? How much time do you have in class to do so?
I agree with Juan Carlos. Because the most students, especially in my school, because we are near to frontier Venezuela, and we have some students, many students, Venezuela, and the connection is not good or is impossible, and the electricity, there are so many problems with that. And the time for do this exercise is when the students can, when the situation, when the probabilities they have in this moment, they do the exercise and then are sent to the teacher's chat.
Yeah, that's exactly why I mentioned families, students' families, as one of the most important aspects in the individual learning space, because they can talk about it, even if it's in Spanish and then they process it in English, they are getting the information, that are getting the background knowledge, they are getting the skills to think critically, which is what we are pursuing, not only vocabulary building, right? However, I would like to talk to you about using visible thinking routines, but I would like you to stay here because we're going to answer some questions, okay? And I want to highlight the word routines. What is a routine? It is something that we do only once?
No, that is repeated.
No, that is repeated, right? And so we say, no, Carolina, it's really easy for you at the university. I say, yes, okay, maybe that's true. But if you install this routine as a chip in the students' minds, they know that even if they have connectivity or not, if they are in the classroom or not, they can do it because it's a routine. It's a thinking routine already built in their minds. So I want to tell you, teachers, that there is this amazing project called Project Zero from the university, the Harvard Graduate School of Education, and they created all these thinking routines. These are categories, the core thinking routines, possibilities and analogies, perspectives, controversies and dilemmas. All of these are categories. If you go to their website, you click on one of these boxes, you're gonna find like 20 different thinking routines for each one of the categories. Today, we're gonna just see 3, okay? But I hope that you like them so much that you want to go and research and get some more for your classroom and some that fit your context. Are you ready for the 3 we're gonna take a look at?
Let's go.
Okay, so we're gonna look at colors, shapes, and lines. That's one routine. We're gonna look at see, think, wonder. Yeah, this is a more popular one. And we're gonna take a look at the super, hyper, mega, duper popular in language classes, think, pair, share, right? I think we all have heard of this one. So I wanted to bring one that probably you didn't know, one that you may know, and one that we all know so that we kind of know how these work. Okay, so let's start with colors, shapes, and lines. Okay, so this is a beautiful picture that I just harvested from the internet. And I'm going to ask you, what colors do you see? My dear student, Juan Carlos, what colors do you see? We are in class.
Wow, a lot of them. I can see green, orange, red, purple.
Okay, and Zulima, do you see any different colors from the one that Juan Carlos mentioned?
I see orange and violets, white, brown.
Oh, we have violet. That's a new color. Thank you for sharing that new color with us today. So what about shapes? What shapes do you see?
I can see circles, actually.
Okay. In the what is it? Brussels
Tomatoes,
sprouts?
garlics, potatoes.
Okay. What shapes do you see, Zulima?
Cycles and large.
Okay.
And a strange picture because it's not a cycle, it's not
Yeah, right. It's kind of fun. Oval. We don't know what other shapes are there. Great. What about lines? What lines do you see? Do you see straight lines? Do you see curves? Do you?
Most of them are curved, I think.
Yeah, I think so, right? Okay, wonderful. We went through our first picture. Let's see our second picture. Here's your teacher potato head right here. Okay. So what colors do you see? Let's start with Zulima.
A pink, maybe a black,
Okay.
Dark green, maybe an style of blue, or kind of blue, and no.
Ooh, good luck finding new colors, Juan Carlos.
Wow, really hard.
Yes.
Well, most of them, I think I see a white, brown on the sands, probably light blue in the sky, or
Okay,
of
we
the
can start
sea.
trying light, okay, like dark, okay, that's creative, good. What shapes do you see?
Well, I could say that this painting is most of round or circles
Yeah, okay.
shapes,
It feels round, it seems round, right? We see
like a
round
potato.
everywhere, okay, like a potato, yeah. And what lines do you see? Do you see straight lines?
As I said, it's that most of them are circles, or probably the most curved lines.
Yeah, whereas I see a kind of, well, it's not, it's curved anyway. Yeah, wonderful. So we can do this exercise with any picture or object that your students have at home. Their object, my inhaler, it's an object, a lipstick, a marker, anything you have next to you, you can just ask your students. And this is a great way to start a class with routine, right? Remember that it's a routine. It's important to keep doing it so that we can enhance the students' vocabulary, right? So here, this routine helps students make detailed observations, right? With the Mona Lisa picture, we have there so many shades of green. So we could learn all that vocabulary. We could teach our students all that vocabulary. There is also like there are mountains on the background. So we could talk about that too. So like detailed observations, right? With the vegetables, there were so many greens, but what greens are they? What different kinds of greens do we have, right? It can be used to help us a pre-writing or pre-speaking activity. If you use this technique, this routine, you can prep students for talking about something deeper, something more profound about either paintings. This is used with arts or objects, as you can see on the little box over here. So you can use this with anything at your disposal. And it can help in vocabulary building, right? So we can learn, for example, that there are shades of colors. So it's not only green, but there is, as you were saying, light green, dark green, right? There are shades. We can help them with the lines. I don't think my vocabulary about lines is really good. Like I just know straight lines, curves. I need to check some more. The same happens with shapes. Probably we just know the very basic, but this is something that helps us build vocabulary. So, okay, keep tabs of the strategies because I have a question for you later. So let's remember that these are many, many possibilities, and this one was here in art or objects, the light blue box, okay? We're gonna move on to the second, which is see, think, wonder, okay? So, dun, dun, dun. What do you see? What do you see? That's all. So what do you see, Sulima?
I see 4 eyes.
Okay.
A strange animal, I suppose. It's an animal.
Okay. But what do you see? You see 4 eyes. Okay, that's what you see there. What do you see, Juan Carlos?
Well, I could say that I see some hair.
Okay.
Around those eyes.
Okay. Yes. Now, Sulima, what do you think? Because you were getting ahead, right? So what do you think when you see that?
I think that is an horrible animal.
Okay, you think it's a horrible animal? Yeah. What do you think, Juan Carlos? Do you agree? Is it a horrible animal?
I'd probably say I think it's dangerous.
Oh, you think it's dangerous. Okay. Now, what do you wonder? What do you wonder?
Well, I wondered if I have it around here.
Oh my God, yeah, no. that would be awful. Yeah. What do you wonder, Sulima?
I wonder that this is alone from me, long away from me.
Yeah, I wonder if it's not around. Okay, great.
I don't want here. No.
No. Okay, so let's take a look at the second one. What do you see?
Teacher Sulima.
Teacher Sulima.
It's a coronavirus peak.
Okay. But what do you see? Remember?
Well,
descriptive.
I could say that I see a spore of dust, probably.
Okay, a spore of dust. Look at that. What do you think?
I think that when people see or look at that peak, they scared because they can think maybe I'm sick.
Okay, yes.
And check. I must check my head. Check my eyes, my nose. Yes.
Yes.
Or think I have to vaccine. Full the vaccine.
Oh, yeah. You might think about so many things, right? If I'm sick, if I want to get the vaccination, if I have to go to the doctor, if I want to get tests, right? We think a lot of things. What do you wonder?
Well, I can say I wonder if I see something like this, I must clean up my house.
Oh my God, yes. Definitely. Definitely. So look at this. We just have an image and look at what happened in our minds and look at how different our minds are. We look at things, we see something, we immediately see a bug in the other one. We immediately see danger. We immediately see I don't want it around me. And that is something that we also can help our students with because this helps us understand perspectives. It is not right or wrong because you saw it. It's what you saw. And what you saw is perfect because that's the way you saw it. That is your vision of the world. And this routine helps us build that into our students, helps them understand that each person is different and everybody has a different perspective of the world. So this routine encourages students to make careful observation and thoughtful interpretations. It helps stimulate curiosity and sets the stage for inquiry. So if we have something we're going to learn about in class, we are English teachers. We can for example, we can show them a formula, or we can show them a piece of something like the spider. Yeah, that's a spider. I am arachnophobic, but that is one of my favorite spiders. It's an Australian spider whose male attracts actually, I think it's called a peacock spider because he has a little tail. Yeah, you can generate an entire lesson with that little thing. It can help your students build vocabulary. Once again, teacher, how do you say pelo? Teacher, how do you say ojos grandes? Teacher, how, you can start with that exercise. Teacher, how do you say espora? Teacher, it helps you build vocabulary because it generates curiosity, right? And it can be used at any point in a lesson. We can use this for anything, right? So, okay, are we ready? Yes, John, do we have anything from the participants? Wait.
You've been having this conversation. I love it. I've been so engaged, also participating here backstage and checking what the teachers on the YouTube chat are talking about. All right.
Great.
We've been moving along different slides on your presentation, but I really want to just recap also what teachers have been discussing and commenting about it on the chat. We have Wilson Ospino. He's participating on the hashtag flipping and thinking. He said that he usually uses quotes or videos so students can make reflections about them and about the implications in their lives. We also have Eladio Uribe talking about how difficult it is sometimes to work with these strategies because of the zone or the area they live in. We also have teachers participating on strategies like making predictions and giving potential solutions to different problems, or trying to work on project-based strategies too. We have a lot of comments, and I guess that's going to be for a final question at the end of the session on critical thinking and English language learning, which is a very important thing to talk about, I guess. And oh my God, when you started talking about the colors, so everybody was participating.
Awesome.
And also
Thank you
learning
so
about
much.
colors. We have teachers experts in colors here, and also some people love your potato face. But definitely the audience, the crowd went crazy when you showed that spider, and people were talking about the eyes, the number of eyes, and I guess not many people is fan of spiders.
Yeah, I don't think so. They're not very popular.
No. Nobody wants that thing. I mean, crawling or jumping on you with that hairy. Oh my God, I hate that
Not
too.
fun.
No,
Not
not
fun.
a fan at all.
No.
So thank you, teachers, for your comments. We're
Thank
reading
you.
Please, we encourage you to ask more questions, please. Ask your
Yes.
questions, okay?
Yes, ask your questions and definitely keep sharing all those great strategies that you're using. And what I say, the idea here is to get something new and to go and do it right away into your classroom. So,
Carolina, some teachers are asking if they can get a certificate. I have an answer for them. Go there.
Yes.
On the chat, you will find the link, the registration link. You find it there. Another strategy is when you see the QR code You can scan it with your phone, you scan it, and you access the registration form. Go there and do it, please.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
yes, do get this certificate. After this masterclass, you're going to be able to say that you have all the techniques to, have interaction and more active learning in your class. So let's keep on with the third strategy. Don't go, don't move anywhere, because we have a third one and I need you. Okay, let's see if we can show the slides. Okay, there we go. So these are all the categories, right? Remember that when you go to the website, you're going to have 1,000. You just need to read and pick the ones that you feel are good for your context, connect with your children, connect with your students that are, situated and that you don't need crazy things. For example, if you don't have images, if you don't have internet for the ones we just did with the spider and the vegetables, you can use objects. Anything you have in your classroom at home or in the student's home. So try to find the ones that are more real to your context, right? So the third one is think, pair, share, which is a very popular strategy for language classes, right? And so I'm going to invite the teachers who are watching us, okay, to go. You need to go. You need to go to your house and find a pair, okay? Because you're going to think first about this question. Why are some of the zodiac signs named after animals, but others aren't? This is Aries, I think. This is Leo, but this is Libra, and this is Sagittarius. So why are some of the zodiac signs named after animals, but others aren't? I want you to think about it and go and ask somebody in your house. If you are with your son, with your daughter, with your husband, with your wife, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, with your significant other, please go and ask them. Share, okay? But wait, Sulima and Juan Carlos, because I have a special question for you. So teachers who are watching us, please take a picture of the screen or something so that you have the question clear. Why are some of the zodiac signs named after animals, but others aren't? Okay? You ready? Steady? Go and ask. In the meantime, Juan Carlos and Sulima, here is the question for you. Why is the sky blue? As Juan Carlos, you are in Zipaquirá, and Sulima, you are in Norte Santander, I want you to please call each other on the phone while I call our friend John to talk to me about this question. So go ahead.
Oh, sure.
So, John.
Hey, Carol.
Why is the sky blue? What do you think?
Okay. Why is the sky blue? I'm colorblind. I have a problem with that.
Oh.
I'm kidding. I'm not colorblind. Why is the sky blue? Oh my God. Well, we can discuss about that from different perspectives.
Okay.
A physics, chemistry kind of answer, physics, romantic literature. I think the sky is blue because of the light that comes through my eyes decode the color as blue.
Okay.
Maybe the real color of the sky is not blue. I don't know. It could be another way of answering, but I think it's about the oxygen, the light, and the way our eyes are structured and grasp light from what we see. I guess that would be another option. What do you think?
I just realized that I set up the question and I have no idea how to answer it. I have no clue. I imagine, it's something like the rainbow, that it's because of the projection of light into something. So maybe the atmosphere has something to do with this. I hope but the teachers are discussing a different question. What do you think about that other question? Why?
We have also teachers asking why and also answering this question about the blue sky.
Oh, that's awesome. We may have an astronomer in the house or astrologist.
An astrologist. Yeah, I want to know about my future. I mean, the sky is blue,
Oh,
the
dear,
zodiac
I'm
sign
such
and
an
all.
ignorant. What is the person who studies the skies? Oh my God.
Astronomist, I guess.
Astronomist? Yeah,
But
astrologist is
you
the one
know,
for the
an
zodiac sign.
astrologist can help us answer the question about
The
the
other one.
zodiac sign.
Yes.
Okay, you know, Marilu Salazar says by the light reflection.
There we go.
Alexi
We're on the
Cáceres
right.
says due to a phenomenon called Rayleigh scattering. That was very specific.
Wow, that's very
That was very
specific.
specific. And some others we're discussing the other strategy.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
but
we'll
you
go
know,
to the other question in a minute. So
okay.
what about Juan Carlos and Zulima? Do you think they have an answer for us?
Yes, actually, we discussed a lot about this, and then I told Sulima that I have seen this TV show, Cosmos, and
Okay.
there I heard that the sky is we could see it blue because of the reflection of the sunlight. It comes through the atmosphere, and the gases stomp some waves of colors, and the blue one is the shorter and the smaller. So that's why we first see the blue one instead of red or all the other colors.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for that.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Or comparing to what I said.
Yeah, the romantic thing, I don't think that's the one. So, John, what did the teacher say? Why are some of the zodiac signs named after animals and others aren't?
Okay, I guess teachers are very very hooked to the blue sky question, but I have an answer. Zodiac stands for animals. Libra is only a star pattern and does not represent an animal or a person. Wow, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that everybody's commenting about the color. And not too many comments about the zodiac signs. I guess people were more into the blue sky question.
Yeah, I think the blue sky was the winner. Okay, so look
Yeah,
at this.
definitely.
In this room full of teachers, this virtual room full of teachers, look at all this knowledge that we have about a topic. And look what sharing does for us. Just sharing builds our knowledge. And so our students might not be able to share in English. We might need to scaffold that a little bit for them. We might need to give them a little permission to just explore in Spanish and then try to give them some stems, some chunks, so that they can actually elaborate their ideas. But the sharing is just so wonderful. It helps us. Hasn't it happened to you? It happens to me that I have to share something with somebody to think, to process it. I'm an extrovert, and so that happens to me. Like I talk to people about things, and things become clearer for me. And so that can happen to our students. And if we generate and if we use this strategy, we can do many things. We can encourage students to think about a topic and then to articulate those thoughts. It's not only here, it actually comes out, right? We can do it in writing if we want to. We can share that in writing as well. This routine promotes understanding through active reasoning and explanation. Of course, this will be a little bit higher in the level if we want to do it in English. But if you want, you can do it in Spanish and then help them articulate that idea. And this routine encourages listening and speaking, right? We listen to each other. We don't have to just listen to native speakers. We can listen to each other in our classes. So now my question, okay, I thought I had a question there, but it's, do you want to try any of these strategies?
Of course, and actually I will. I found that
Okay.
really interesting.
And I definitely encourage you both to go to that website. You'll go crazy. You can spend hours and hours there. And they are super simple. They have one-pager explanations so that you can actually take them to your class tomorrow. Okay? So we're going to move on to the third teaching technique, that is using cooperative learning strategies. So don't go. Remember that you're here to help. So okay, we'll go with you. We want to hear your voices. So we're going to start with Juan Carlos and then we go with Zulima. Okay, ready? Go.
Okay, cooperative learning has been proven to be effective for all the types of students, including academically gifted, mainstream students, and English language learners, because it promotes learning and fosters respect and friendships among diverse group of students.
Oh, I don't hear you, Zulima. I think you're muted. There we go.
In fact, the more diversity in a team, the higher the benefits of the student. First, learn to depend on each other in a positive way for the variety of learning styles.
I love this. Don't you love it? I'm going to say, I'm going to give you a little bit of an anecdote. And it is some of the students at the university, you know, when they're in 6th or 7th semester, they don't want to work with anybody. They're like, I want to do my task by myself. You know, I don't want to be negotiating with you. If you don't want to work, it's your problem. But the world is cooperative. Teaching and learning are social. And the more we teach our students from young ages to cooperate with each other, not to compete, the more we are going to build, you know, these 21st century skills we've been talking so long for. It's the year 21 and we're still talking about it as if it is, you know, the super new topic, but it is because it's difficult, right? I want to highlight 4 things. First, cooperative learning. Then all types of students. I want to see the inclusiveness of this word. We don't want to have only the good students, only the fast learners, only the ones who catch our lesson quickly. No, we want all of them to be involved. It says academically gifted mainstream students because this is part of, you know, like something somewhere else, but also English language learners. You know that English language learners have a specific needs, yeah, in order to build the confidence, to build their language, their proficiency. And also we have here this other sentence in purple, peers learn to depend on each other in a positive way. I think this is beautiful. I think we have to stop, you know, I'm sorry for what I'm going to say, but we have to stop this idea of el bravero, you know, like, oh yes, I'm the best, I'm the big one, I'm the one who nobody beats. We need to cooperate. And this is something that if we teach our little kids to do and they grow up cooperating, we won't have so many things going on. I know this sounds very tutti frutti, but I'm like that. So let's remember that all this can happen if we take out our direct instruction from the classroom and we free up all this space, you know, to practice with these great activities. So, and remember that we do the understanding and remembering at home, and we do these other 4 in the classroom with the students. We support them, we're there for them, and we have them share and cooperate. A lot of you are going back to the face-to-face classes, well, most of you, I think. And so this is a moment to start, you know, rebuilding all this community that was lost during this year and a half of quarantine. So we have to rebuild this community, and we can do this by using these cooperative learning strategies. But let me ask you, you teacher there, you're watching at home, and you too, Juan Carlos and Zulima, flipping and collaborating. Are you familiar with cooperative learning strategies with that name?
Of course, all time.
Zulima, you say yes, okay.
Yes.
And
all
Juan
time.
Carlos?
Me too. Actually, during my studies from the master's degree, I learned about this strategy.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And you teachers, are you familiar with cooperative learning strategies? Let's have John come and tell us what the teachers are saying on the comments in the YouTube channel.
Okay.
There you are.
Yes, here I am. There's a little bit of delay in
That's
this,
okay.
but here we are. I've been following you. We have a lot of, this is 50-50, I guess.
Okay.
Andrea Zamora says no. Edwin Bastida says no, as well as Milena Santa Maria, Inelda Nunez, Zoila, she's saying no. But we also have Mari Morales who says yes, Catherine Pedraza, Milena Santa Maria, Alberto Paez. We have more yeses now. We have more yeses
Okay.
now.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you. Because there is this huge debate, you know, is it collaboration? Is it cooperation? And then these authors and what is collaborative learning? What is cooperative learning? Okay, we want both. We want students to collaborate.
Yes.
We want teams. We want people to grow together. We
And
want
we also
both.
want teachers to use the hashtag flipping and collaborating, Caro.
Yes. We want the teachers to use the hashtag flipping and collaborating.
Yes.
So very important in here, this is just the work of an author, right? This is Kagan and Kagan. These are two authors, two people who like to call them cooperative learning strategies, but we don't have to sweat over that, okay? Today we're gonna talk about three of my favorites: Four Corners, Team Jigsaw, and Round Robin.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna take a look at what they are. So, Four Corners, have you heard of this one?
Yes, one of my
Not
favorites
yet.
back then.
Oh, this one is one of my favorites.
Yes.
If students of mine are watching, they are like, yes, she used that on us. Yeah, because I love this strategy. Because this makes my students move. So then you place on your board, let's imagine that this is the classroom board or your whiteboard in Meet, whatever, this sentence, right? Animals shouldn't be used for medical research. Is this a sentence that is going to have the same opinion for everybody? Probably not. Yeah, probably this. Okay, I got the two teachers are frozen. Is it me? No, I think both. Okay, no. Sulima came back. Okay, so is this a type of sentence that we would have everybody on the same opinion? Probably not. We will have probably 50-50s, like you said there, or maybe 25% difference, whatever. So what we do is we create signs, like physical signs for the classroom, and we paste these signs on the four corners of the classroom. Yeah? So I paste the I agree sign on one corner, the I disagree sign on another corner, the I strongly disagree on another corner, and I strongly disagree in the other one. I put all my students in the center of the classroom to start the activity, and I show the sentence, right? Students move physically to the opinion that they have. So we're going to have 3 or 4 students in the I agree, 5 students in the disagree, and then they engage in a discussion there, to support their points. Why do you agree? Why do you disagree? And then you have somebody report onto the rest. But then you see, Carolina, I have to do this digitally. Okay, I invite you to use Google Jamboard to do that. You can do exactly the same with the Google Jamboard. You create your Jamboard. The 4 corners are 4 little Post-its, and you have students create a Post-it with their name and put it on the right space in the screen. Hey, we have you back, Juan Carlos. So
yeah, here I am again.
Yeah, there we go. So this is a movement strategy. It is cooperative because I have my students help each other. They have to support the point in their corner, right? So if we say we agree, why do we agree? Well, we agree because of this and this and these arguments, okay? They have to come up with a unified argument to provide to the class. So how do they cooperate? If some students don't have good vocabulary, there we go. Somebody can help. If some students feel more scared to talk, the others can encourage and can help, right? So we have this cooperation going on into this activity, plus we insert movement, right? That is always wonderful. Okay, so that was the first one. The second one is Team Jigsaw, okay? So I love this one. I like to think of this as a jigsaw puzzle. So you give the material to your students divided, right? So Juanito has part 1 of the material. Carolina has part 2 of the material. Johncito has part 3 of the material. And Sulima has part 4 of the material. They read, for example, let's say that it's a story, right? So you have a story and you cut the paragraphs, 1 paragraph per each person. They read that paragraph, they understand that paragraph, they try to see what is in the paragraph, and then they get together to put the text together. Yeah, you can do it physically, like you can actually do a puzzle, like with a song. You can cut the 4 pieces of a song and students have to rearrange, or you can do it orally where they explain to each other what is the concept. And then the idea is to construct one product altogether, okay? So you can do this dividing the group, your big group, into many small groups, and you give one different material for all or the same. Yeah, you can do the same. And at the end, you test which group was closer or something like that, right? Okay, that's the second one. And the third one is round robin. So let's say that I give my students this category, names of jungle animals, right? We're gonna make a little bit of a competition kind of thing, but it's a different competition because it's in groups. So students have to write for this round robin activity, they have to write. So we have group 1, group 2, group 3, and all the members of the groups are writing, animals, names of, I got lost. Names of jungle animals on different, it can be on Post-its or on mini papers. We English teachers were full of papers. So, they write, and then we put together all the words and we collaborate on the board, creating a mural of all the words that we have, right? So this is the third one, which is round robin. We can do this with anything. You can put here on the category a question. You can put here, any category of vocabulary or anything that you really can think about, right? So, Zulima and Juan Carlos, which of these strategies resonates more with you?
I think I'll go with the second one.
Okay.
I like the idea of discussing, of getting some point of view in order to get one answer collaboratively, and then I think I go to the second one. I find it really interesting.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. And you, Zulima, which one did you like?
Both four are so motivated to the students, but sometimes I use the first one.
Okay, four corners.
Yes. Sometimes I divide the group in 4 small groups, and they run to the one point in a file, and take a piece of paper with the name of the bird, and back to the other students and write a sentence in the
I love
tense
that one. Yeah.
in the sense that we are working in that moment. For example,
Mhm.
you can have present progressive, and perfect, and the other students, the other groups, check if the statement is correct, and the group with a point.
Well, that sounds wonderful. They love that one. Anything with movement. If they have the time to stand up, they can be free. They're sitting down all the time. So anything like that is going to help them and also help them cooperate with each other. So remember that we set up these strategies because we flipped our class. So we have more time to do all these great cooperative strategies, active learning, active thinking strategies. So my invitation to you, teachers, is to use these tools that we shared today. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that we're ready for something else. John, where are you? Yeah, sorry about that.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Yeah, we need to hear what resonates with the teachers in the audience before we move on.
Yes. Well, we have Marta Tulandes. She just started here. The second one, Vilma Soraya Cruz Amaya, says all of them are very useful and also interesting. Hey, Luz Mora, okay,
Hello.
our teacher, yes.
I'm like,
You know what she said? She said something very interesting. She says 4 corners because students can build new knowledge too. Also, Lady Joanna Orozco says all of them are really interesting, and we have many teachers rooting for 4 corners. This
yes,
strategy, okay?
Four Corners is awesome.
Yes, I'm too. What's one of my favorite activities? Yes, definitely. I like the strategy number 2, says Edith Rocio Silva, and number 3 because students can interact and use different material to build knowledge, reinforce, and learn new vocabulary. We also have Lily, 4 corners. Yeah, jigsaw and basic reading, Olga Liliana.
Mhm.
And we have a question that we can use for the wrap up of the session. Okay,
Awesome.
I'm
Oh
not
my
gonna
God,
say
I'm
anything
scared.
yet. Not yet.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Well, I think this was all for the part of the teaching techniques. I guess we're ready for something else.
Definitely. Okay, it's been amazing. You know, it's very it's been a very catchy, entertaining, full of strategies session. Definitely, definitely. And I want to take a moment, take a minute, Carolina and our guest teachers. I want to thank the Ministry of Education and the British Council for making this masterclass strategy happen, and for allowing us also, as language teachers, to get together, to grow together, being engaged in these sessions, and being able to discuss and share ideas. And definitely, the ultimate goal here is helping us become better educators. Definitely, thank you, Ministry of Education and the British Council, and you too, because you are here today as part of the strategy, as one of the experts helping us. And I also like to remind our teachers out there: remember, you can only get the certificate by completing the registration form. Click on the chat, you will find the, or scan the QR code. Carolina, this box of techniques you've shared with us was very useful. Our guest teachers have said that. Our teachers out there on the YouTube chat and audience, massive audience, have said that. I also second that. Um, and I know that we can take away different strategies, but I also know that you have also brought some specific actions, some specific steps that will help us continue developing these strategies for us. So, as you said, I guess it's time for us to move to our next section, taking
Okay.
action.
Okay, so I sound like a scratched disc with this idea of the flipped learning, but yes, my action step number 1 for you is record a 3-minute video to explain a topic. Do it tomorrow. Do it tomorrow. Whatever you want. Explain maybe something about grammar, maybe something about vocabulary, maybe some reading strategy, maybe a listening strategy, maybe some words. Just take the plunge, jump. And as Sulema said, you haven't done it yet, but today is the day. Why not? Action step 2. Use graphic organizers to use the thinking routines more easily. The thinking routines are processes that our students are going to go through when thinking. So it is good for us to help them visualize that process. So in the moment when we're building the habit with our students, we can help them with the graphic organizers. So for example, the one we saw today, I see, I think, I wonder, then we can create a graphic organizer for them to write what they see, to write what they think, and to write what they wonder. And so they have time to think, they have time to process. When we write things, we need more time than when we speak them. And so our students are a little bit not so comfortable speaking. So by writing, we can give them the time to get comfortable. And action step 3, implement collaborative learning strategies in your class. There are many. The 4 corners, the team jigsaw, and the round robin are just a couple of the strategies that there are. But the important thing is that we teach our students to be active about their learning process. Students, of course, it's easier to be passive recipients and to just wait for the teacher to tell me everything. But I need to promote this thinking and collaboration so that students actually start becoming agents of their learning process. And also with collaboration, with cooperation, we are making better citizens. We are making people who are listening to each other, who listen to each other's perspectives. And this comes pretty handy right now when we have social media, and social media algorithms are transforming the way we think and are just showing us what we relate to. By doing these exercises that are cooperative, we are opening our students' minds to perspectives, to multiplicity, to diversity, which is something that we need to promote in our classrooms, because where else? So, John, those were the 3 action steps that I had for you.
Definitely. Very concrete, 3 action steps. We're 10 minutes away from finishing this master class. I guess we have to move. I want to remind teachers that we have some information for you. Please stay tuned. We invite you to visit EcoWeb. We have a lot of tools created by Colombian teachers for the Colombian context. You will find endless resources, hundreds of resources in the Eco Kids and the Eco Teens strategy. Go there, check out eco.colombiaaprende.edu.co. And after this, we will be back with Carolina and our recap. Stay tuned.
What is ECO Teens? Well, ECO stands for English for Colombia, and it is an educational radio program designed to promote English language learning while exploring different fields like technology, arts, tourism, and sports. The program is designed for teens and presented by teens, Rosita, Aleja, Ana, and Lucho, together with Julian, their English teacher. In the program, they share their life projects and help other young people see the benefits of speaking English.
Okay, so here I have the recap for our session before we move on to the questions and answers. Let's remember our technique number 1 is flipping your class. It's not only a technique, it is a pedagogical approach. It's going to go into your brain and it's going to change everything you believe in about teaching, but I just needed to say it. And the action step for this, you can start this flipping adventure by recording a 3-minute video of yourself explaining a concept. This is the first step, but you can just take a step at doing that right now. Second technique, using visible thinking strategies. Let's remember how important it is to give the opportunity for our students to think. We language teachers were a little impatient. So it's like, okay, we ask a question and we're like, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? No, we need to give them time to think. And so using this thinking routines can help us also provide students with that time. And my tip for that, use graphic organizers to use the thinking routines more easily. Students will have an easier time when writing what they are thinking. And the third one is using cooperative learning strategies. So remember that it is important to build empathy, to build trust, to build teamwork strategies. Students are in isolation. They think they can live and work by themselves, and that is not life. We are human beings within communities, within societies. We don't live alone. We are not in silos. So we need to teach them to cooperate and to collaborate. And how can you do that? By implementing cooperative learning strategies in your class. You can pick 1 or 2 and start doing them. And when your students are familiar with them and they feel confident, you can move on to other ones. So this was what I shared during the whole master class and what we discussed with Juan Carlos and with Sulima. And so, well, I think this is what we had for today. So, John?
Yes, Caro. Thank you very much for this recap. I mean, we've talked about different strategies. We've discussed them deeply. We have everybody participate, our guest teachers and our teachers in the massive, as a massive audience. But it's time now to move on to questions. We have questions from the audience, and I know we have questions from our guest teachers. But I want to start with the first one. There are a couple of categories here, and we have just got some of the questions to build some. So I want to ask the first one.
Okay.
It's 2 questions in one. How could students access material with limited connectivity? And that's the first question. And the second question goes along with that is, which of these strategies would be most advisable in this new normalcy. So let's start with that one.
Okay, so I'm going to start by quoting my grandmother. Yeah, that's going to be weird, but I'm going to quote my grandmother in the first question. How can students get access to these materials? My grandma used to say, el que quiere besar busca la boca. So that's one way. You know, if you're interested, when there's a will, there's a way, and students have at their disposal libraries, their parents, I'm so sure there are books at home, there are encyclopedias probably, there might be old newspapers, you know, they can find resources in many places at home. They can also go to the Vive Digital kiosks that are available. They can try to look for information at the public library. So when we don't have resources at the tip of our hands, we become more resourceful and we look for them where they are not, right? Okay, so the second question was, which of these strategies would be more like now in the new normal?
I think in these new normals.
Yeah, yes. I think all of them. I definitely think the pandemic called our attention to active learning, you know, to putting students at the center of the process, because we cannot be in front of the class all the time, because there is not all the time anymore. You know, we used to have a lot of time in front of them. Now we don't, so we have to be more effective. We also learned about the importance of feedback. So we learned that we need to have time with each student to give them feedback on their process. And if we are doing the traditional teaching, we just don't have time. It's just unsustainable to provide feedback, to be next to the students all the time if I have to do all the teaching, you know, like in front of the classroom when I'm with them. So yeah, definitely by flipping your class, you're going to enhance your classroom. Even if you have no technology, you're going to put students at the center. So I think, yeah, all of them.
Thank you, Carolina. We have many more questions, but there's time constraint here, of course. But we have our guest teachers. Please, they have one question each other. We're going to have very short, specific answers. So we just take it. So where are our teachers? Hello.
Hello again. Hi. Hello.
Well, I think I'm going to start. And, you know, like we are still working virtually with our students. So one of what is the most effective strategy for those students who are virtually or who are learning from the houses to get the knowledge collaboratively with other students?
Okay, so I have had the same situation. I'm still virtual too. And some of my students are in their houses. When I'm talking about their houses, it's that they are in their homeland where they don't have connectivity. So yeah, we need to, for example, in the middle of class, I have had students who are in Bogota call the students who are outside on the phone and share. If they have WhatsApp, we have WhatsApp calls in the middle of the class. So there is a reporter, the person who has the internet, they are in charge of the other person, so they report what's happening. And I have a WhatsApp group with my students, so I send links or the Google Doc or whatever via WhatsApp for those who have no access to the Zoom, for example, so they can work at their own pace with the resources that they have. Mm-hmm.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you.
Okay. Sulima.
Okay, I would like to know one specific strategy to give the students that they work with handbooks, because the students use the physical guides, but they don't send them the guides. It's a big problem.
Okay. Yeah, probably something is to make it more conversational, the handout, so they feel they are, they have some sort of interlocution. So for example, you can create little boxes with answers to possible questions that you think they might have, so that they can actually kind of engage with the handout. And also, for example, I also have my students check each other's handouts, because I'm not going to have time to check everybody. So I make a list Pepito con Pepita, fulanito con fulanita, like you send each other via email or via WhatsApp or via Messenger this paper and you give feedback and you copy me in the feedback, right? So that they have to do the exercise, they share with each other, they comment or something, and then they show me. I use pictures also. For example, do the handout and take a picture and send it to me. So that can also help me visualize, and I give feedback. So if they send me the picture via WhatsApp, I look at the picture and I make an audio. Dianita, you have to do this, you have to do that, kind of like so they don't feel alone, because sometimes probably they feel like, nobody looks at it. Yeah, but if I know it's more time for you, I know it's a lot more time for you. But that's why the peer assessment works very well, because they are taken care of, but you are not investing all of your time on it. Yeah.
I do.
Okay. John, you're muted.
It's been okay. It's been a year and a half, and I still have my mic off. Good. I really want to thank you, Carolina. But first of all, thank you, Maria Zulima and Juan Carlos Medina, for sharing this time with us. I mean, you make this strategy a reality. I mean, you're the voice of the teachers here in these master classes. So all the honor to you, all the the gratitude to you. Thank you very much. And Carolina too, of course, our specialist today. Thank you very much for sharing this time, for allowing this conversation to, and of course, all the teachers out there, all of you out there, please keep on sharing this strategy with your coworkers, your colleagues, please. And thank you very much for staying tuned with us. Okay, as far as the next masterclass number 7, it's going to be in Spanish. Let me tell you, it's going to be in Spanish. August 18th from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Cómo desarrollar actividades motivadoras y dinámicas para el aprendizaje del inglés con niños y niñas de primaria. Tendremos con nosotros a Jimena Alvear, especialista en la enseñanza de inglés como lengua extranjera para niños, adolescentes y adultos. Estaré yo moderando. Todos los profesores invitados, por favor. Igual aquí también para nuestros guest teachers, inviten a otros profesores, a los que nos están viendo, extiendan esta invitación, por favor. Esto es hecho para ustedes, por ustedes y para ustedes. Gracias y nos vemos en la próxima masterclass. Bye bye. Thank you very much for staying.
Bye. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
I had so much fun and learned a lot too.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too. Definitely. It was great to meet you, Juan Carlos and Zulima. It was wonderful.
Great.
You too.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.